pound story, where do you think it's going, and what's the story that you're telling clients at this point, because it's fallen so quickly, so soon?
Absolutely. I think that the story up until 2 weeks ago was that we haven't seen Brexit yet. And as we started getting, signaling of the dates of the process of a little bit what the mechanism will look like. We still don't have a total sense of, the entire picture, but we are definitely coming closer to it. And I think that's it's what is waiting on the pound is purely policy. And we had, the Tory conference. I do believe the speeches were quite hard line, quite, to the right wing of the Tory party, and which obviously boded extremely well for Theresa May, but now, she will have to explain to the markets. What's the story? What's the mechanism? Essentially, a big current account gap, a fiscal story that's, far away from being resolved. This country needs capital flows. So, under this uncertainty, will be very difficult to bring capital flows in order to stabilize the pound. So we do believe that cable of sterling versus dollar is still falling, and I think that's we are not completing this move.
You can see that on the trade this morning, 121.59, the chart's down 0.4%. Julie just mentioned hedges, and wouldn't the likes of Unilever and Tesco be hedged for some of the currency moves? This opens up a can of worms, but how long do you hedge for? What do you hedge? How do you hedge in a market like this? What do you think corporates are going to start doing with a story like this that could unravel profits?
Corporates know hedges are there, but hedges are expensive, number one. Number two, you don't know the tenor, the exact tenor we should be hedging here. And am I hedging for 1, 2, 3 months? And the more you go, of course, the curve gets more expensive. The more expensive is your hedge. So,
but the moment Brexit took place, for a number of these corporates, they've got to realise that this was going to be a very difficult, a very uncertain time. So surely there's an onus here on the corporates to have done something at that point, just to recognise that there was a risk here of asset price falls.
From what we have seen in our platforms, talking to corporate clients, the amount of hedging coming from the corporate sector was very minimal.
Wow.
Yeah, I disagree with you, because we're the first ones to take issue if they lose out on those hedges and say, what are you doing? You're not a financial engineer, you're not playing the markets, you should be running a company. We're the first ones to hit back around the set here if they lose money on those hedges. So on the other hand, I don't think we can then force them to say, go and take out those hedges around foreign exchange. No one knows where the currency is going.
But investors also penalise when they lose money on the currency translation. So fine, you can strip out and say, fine, if we look at this without the currency impact, actually you did really well, but unfortunately you didn't, and you've hemorrhaged cash because you weren't more careful. So there is a balance here.